Hello, welcome to another Tech Tip Thursday. I'm here to talk to you a little bit. I have three tips for Google Docs. The first one I want to start with is something that's new to me that's just come out, and that is we have a new way that we can do our page setup. So if you go to File and you go to Page Setup, you now have the option to go Pageless. So if we click up here, it goes pageless. And that means instead of formatting it to print out on a piece of paper, it's just formatting it to view on the screen. So it's closer to how a web page looks than how a document looks. So I'm just going to click pageless. And now instead of it having that border around, it's formatted more like a website and doesn't have that white border. I can see this being really useful basically for any document that you're sending and sharing online, primarily, not something you print out, right? So I think this can be really useful. I am going to go back to the pages setup because I know I'm a tech person, but I also really like to have paper to read. So a lot of times, if I have something, I'm going to print it out. So that's the way it works for me. However, it works for you. Another thing I wanted to show you has to do with how you can make your document yours. And that is, you have all these fonts that Google gives you, but you can also go and look for more fonts. And you can actually even add fonts to this. Like over here, these are fonts that I have selected. So if I come here, let's say I want aromatic, and I just click on it. And now it's going to come over and be part of my list. So this shows you all the fonts that I've selected. You can see there are just like thousands of fonts here. Okay, thousands and thousands. Um, you can do it by date added. So that would be your newer fonts would come first. Um, that's one thing that I'm a font person. I'm a technology person. I like the way things look. So sometimes I do play around with this, even though I try to keep it simple and not go crazy with the fonts. But sometimes I do like to play with that. So this gives you the option. Some of my favorites, one that I really love is Bebe's New. Bebe's. I like this. It's a bold font and it's all caps. I find it really stands out in a document with text. Another one that I like to do for students that helps them to notice the headline is Alpha Slab. That's one that I've added, probably because those two are near the top of the alphabet, so I found those. So I'm going to click OK, and I have any fonts that I might have added. So now they just appear in my list, any new fonts that I have added. So like this is not a standard font. This is one that I just really like, so I put it in there. And the last thing I want to make sure you know, and this is one thing that students sometimes don't realize, is how do you get things on the outline? So you can put a subheading on here. So I can go ahead in here and put, oh, sorry, I pressed the wrong button, and put my cat is the best. Because this is a report on cats, right? So I'm going to go ahead and format this text as a heading. And as long as you format it as a heading, it's going to come up on the outline. So now, if someone was looking at this and this was a really long document, they would have this outline. I always tell students to make sure if they're doing online notes that they set them up this way, because they could also do, chapter 2. And then if they're on, lesson 2 or chapter 2 or whatever of any online notes they have, it makes it very easy for them to just keep all their notes in one notebook, but navigate to different places in them. Anyway, I hope these tips are very helpful to you. I know there's some kind of basic things, but some things that maybe you don't always think about. Have a great Thursday.